Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, simultaneous protests by APC and PDP in Rivers State capital and in confrontations with the police. One person shot, Channels TV cameraman attacked. House of Representatives leadership to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari to seek solution to the suspected herdsmen attacks in southern Kaduna. Appellate Court reserves judgment on the PDP leadership crisis in Ondo State, following appeal filed by the Ahmed Makarfiya faction. 6 migrants confirmed dead and over 100 others missing in the Mediterranean after their boat sank off the coast of Libya.
On business news tonight, economists optimistic Nigeria's economy will grow out of recession in 2017.
And on sports news tonight, World Football governing body FIFA to take disciplinary action against England and Scotland for wearing poppies in a 2018 World Cup qualifier at Wembley.
Hello, I'm Ibrahim Adwa, and from Abuja, National Assembly commences consideration of President Muhammadu Buhari's request for environment.
We begin tonight with the brewing political crisis in Port Harcourt ahead of the Rivers rerun elections, where protesters clashed with the police, resulting in the shooting of one person and Channels Television's cameraman assaulted. Separate protests were carried out simultaneously by supporters of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress. The APC is aggrieved that 2 of the elected members in the Rivers State House of Assembly are yet to be sworn in, while the PDP supporters claim that they were on a solidarity march to register their support for the House leadership. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Ere, reports.
These are members of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, protesting what they say is the refusal of the Rivers State House of Assembly to swear in 2 of their elected members, Victoria Nyeche and Andrew Miller, into the Legislative House. The leader of the protest and secretary of the party in the state laments what it describes as a deliberate attempt of the government to frustrate the process.
We've given opportunity to Nigerians to hear our cry. They are members of the PDP that is in National Assembly today. Why is it that the leadership of the party controlled by the APC? Did they refuse to swear them in? That is no. Why will the governor and the leaders of the assembly refuse to swear our members in? After today, APC will not subscribe to that anymore.
We're calling on the people of Rivers State, and we're calling particularly on the governor of Rivers State to obey the rule of law and allow the speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly to swear in these 2 honorable members. This is democracy. This is not a military regime.
Meanwhile, supporters of the PDP approach from a different direction, but they are not prepared to back off when confronted by the police. The law enforcement personnel take sterner action to disperse them using tear gas and live ammunition. One person is shot.
This is the very first time in the history of Rivers State that we have had a speaker that is one of us. We decided to show you that we can march the streets of Port Harcourt to come and appreciate what God has done for us as youths of PDP.
Despite the provocation, you didn't take laws into your hands. At least the CP can take this message to those people that have sent them, that despite the provocation, we did not take laws into our hands. Otherwise, we have what it takes to match them power for power and for hand.
Channels Television's cameraman recounts his experience from his hospital bed.
When we got up to the National Population Commission gate, very close to AG Secretariat, another team came. They actually asked me to leave the road and cross to the field, which I did. I obeyed them. On getting to the field, another team came from behind. one of the officers came, used his left fist, hit my camera. My camera went blank. So I speak to you now, I don't even know the state of my camera, I don't know the whereabouts of my camera. They started beating me, they collected my camera back. The beating was too much, I had to go down immediately.
This is not the first time the House of Assembly will be at the center of a crisis in the state. But now, both parties need to exercise more restraint and a greater sense of responsibility, especially when the conclusion of the legislative polls is only a few weeks away. Emmanuel Eri, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Francis Odesoya, has been speaking on the circumstances surrounding the protest in Port Harcourt today. According to him, he had asked the PDP and the APC to postpone their planned protests when he received information that they were marching to the State Assembly the same day. He, however, promised that those responsible for the attacks on Channels Television's cameraman will be fished out.
Yesterday evening, I got credible information that the PDP is also planning to go to the same house at the same time to see the same speaker. So I put a call through to the PDP party chairman, Elder Felix Obua, who confirmed it and said they just want to go and pay him a visit. Put the call to His Excellency. He said yes, they want to go and pay solidarity visit. I explained to him that it should not be proper, it should not be appropriate. Since we are given approval to APC to go there on the rally to submit just a letter, they can always shift to another date. They said no, it does not need my permission to go and pay a solidarity visit to the speaker, which is actually true. So since then I started trying to look for a way to get out of the logjam. So I put up an official letter to the two of them, advising them to desist from such act, both the PDP and the APC. Fortunately for me, the APC decided to be more matured and agreed that they will not come down to the speaker's place today, but rather they will go around the state to express their grievances over the non-swearing in of their elected members in the House of Assembly. Of course, we mobilized massively, over 40 vehicles, over 3,000 men, because we know what this state is all about. As for the end, your man's issue, it's very unfortunate, but thank God you said you have the number and name of the police officer responsible. We're going to investigate the matter, we're going to get to the root of the matter, and we're going to get justice.
Moving on to other stories now. The recent increase in the attacks on residents of southern Kaduna by herdsmen appears to be giving the House of Representatives a cause for concern. To address this, the leadership of the House is set to meet with Mr. President Muhammad Buhari in a bid to find a solution to the state of insecurity in the area and around the country. This is part of the resolutions reached by lawmakers following a debate on a motion presented by Simon Arabo on the killing of southern Kaduna. The House is also calling on the Department of State Security to live up to its responsibility of maintaining internal security.
It's a matter that has come up repeatedly on the floor of the House. Reports of armed attacks on villages in the southern parts of Kaduna State. Once again, the matter is before the House of Representatives.
On the 13th to 14th of November 2016, heavily armed insurgents in large numbers invaded 6 villages, resulting in the killings of 43 people, consisting of children, women and men, injuries to many, burning down 65 houses and other properties.
The debate that followed was passionate, with some lawmakers pointing to the possibility of the issue spreading to other areas.
Whenever there's an attack, you discover that there will be a way, as rightly said. In some cases, the soldiers, if you call them, they will tell you they don't have the mandate to repel an attack. In some cases, the soldiers will either sit and watch everything happen, and when the people come back on their own to repel the attack, the soldier will come again and attack the people and begin to arrest them.
This calls for serious concern, and it brings to fore the issue of state policing. It brings to fore the issue of review of arms carrying. If every citizen has right to carry arms, I'm sure that if you want to attack a community, you have a second thought. And that's what happened in the developed world.
The motion enjoyed the support of most lawmakers.
Those in favor of the motion as amended say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it.
The leadership of the House is to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari to find a solution to the state of insecurity in the country. The House is also restating an earlier resolution that the federal government and the Kaduna state government should declare a security emergency in the southern Kaduna senatorial district of Kaduna State. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, the Evangelical Church of West Africa, ECWA, is alleging that about 27,000 people have been displaced from their homes and hundreds of others killed since the renewed attacks by suspected herdsmen in southern Kaduna State. The group is also kicking against the plan by the Kaduna State government to create grazing reserves and routes for the herdsmen in the area, which they say is responsible for the renewed attacks. They also decried the move as an orchestrated plan by the herdsmen to take over the people's ancestral land.
This news conference by ECWA Church is coming barely 3 days after suspected gunmen attacked 4 villages in Kauru local government area in southern part of Kaduna, killing about 31 people. The gunmen were said to have carried out coordinated attacks in the 4 communities where they burned down over 150 houses and farmlands.
And Fulani men are now fully settled with their cattle and families in Mait, Agwam, Zakaigira, Tunga, Makwad, Elak, Zankong, and Kirim.
In a twist to the story, the Fulani herdsmen blamed the situation on marginalization and an attempt to put them in bad light.
The press conference by elected representatives from southern Kaduna at the National Assembly calling on the people of their constituents to resist any attempt by the federal or state government to resuscitate the existing cattle routes, grazing reserves, or creating another one.
Now, the residents have fled from their homes to neighboring communities in Nasarawa, Plateau, and Abuja. Those who do not have anywhere to go are now taking refuge in this primary school. Emergency officials are also here to provide them with relief materials, pending when they will go back to their homes. The State Deputy Governor, Mr. Bala Bantex, in company of the Secretary to the State Government, Balarabe Lawal, and others, are also here to assess the level of destruction and also condole the victims.
And we are working across the state. There is no single agenda, no agenda set aside for any particular people. The issue of insecurity is a national phenomenon. As a matter of fact, it's a global phenomenon. It's not just a state phenomenon, and certainly it's not a regional thing. It is everywhere. And at this time, people need to refrain from politicizing the issue, and we should look at the root causes and seek for ways by which we can get at them to be able to find lasting solutions.
The attacks by suspected Fulani herdsmen has raised concern among residents here, and all they seem to be seeking now is protection from the government.
In part 2, after the break, Appellate Court reserves judgment on the PDP leadership crisis following appeal filed by the Ahmed Makarfi faction. Join us again.